Hello everyone, my name is Darius Young and welcome to Rigging Lucario Part 3. Sorry if I sound really tired right now, it's because I really am. But I'm a YouTuber, therefore I make videos for you. I actually recorded this video yesterday, but I forgot to cut the audio on because I'm smart, and so now I have to do it again. But I made some mistakes in the last video that I should be able to avoid in this one. So I'm going to start off with saying that if you didn't rig both sides of the hands, just follow the first rigging fingers tutorial and you should be able to achieve that. However, I did some extra things off camera and forgot to unsave it, but basically I selected this control finger and I should have selected the main finger bone here. I went to the constraint menu and basically hit Control Shift C and I added a copy rotation constraint. When you add that, you change all these settings from you check offset, and then you change this from world space to local space, and do the same thing over here, and the effect you'll get is that when you are to rotate this, well, not both of them, we select this bone here and you are to rotate, these fingers will follow, but you can also rotate the fingers individually. There you go. So you can do stuff like that, but you have to cut on offset. Let's get Alt R on that, and the regular settings will still work. Okay, now what we do want to do though is tap into edit mode on our rig, and the fingers are a bit too high up, so we have to select this hand here. Just want to grab it on the Z axis, move it down like so, and rotate it a bit. Hit Control comma just to make sure that your rotate your pivot point for rotating objects is in the center. Just hit R to rotate. There you go. Alright. So now what we want to do is we want to rig the tail. So to do that, just tab in edit mode first and make sure that this bone is parented to this bone. So select this bone, just select that bone, hit Control P. It'll say keep offset if it's not already parented, but mine is, so we're good. So now select this bone, hold shift and select this bone, hit Control Shift C, add a copy rotation constraint. Then select the bone with the constraint on it. In the constraint menu you want to change it to offset, local space, local space. So now when I rotate this bone, the tail will rotate gradually with it. Select this bone, shift select this bone, Control Shift C, whoops, wrong, there we go, Control Shift C, copy rotation. Select this bone here, check offset, local space, local space, and now you'll achieve the same effect. So now they both are gradually rotating based off of this bone's rotation. We'll do the same thing here. Control Shift C, copy rotation, offset, local space, local space. And now by rotating this bone, all these bones will gradually follow. Okay. And I think that's basically it for all the deformation bones. I'm going to do some more advanced rigging tutorials in the future, but for now this will do for basic posing. Also, you may notice that my Lucario's color changed from this being a dark blue to a gray. That's because I changed it from a dark blue to a gray. So just go to wherever your materials are, and not wherever your materials are, the materials are right here up in the properties bar, but we go to your materials and then check and click wherever your dark blue material is and just change it to gray because I got that color wrong. Alright, so now we have all the deformation bones set up, but what we want to do, I want to do something actually with the arms. It's going to seem weird, but I'll show you what I'm going to do in a second. I'm actually going to get rid of the inverse kinematics constraint just really quickly. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. It'll look weird in pose mode, but I'll show you what I'm trying to do. I want to select this bone, hit W, and subdivide. Okay. We don't have to change any of the names because they both follow the same naming convention on both sides. It'll still work. But what this is doing is basically, I want to rotate. When I rotate the hand, this will follow, giving me a forearm rotation along with it. Well, before I subdivide that, actually, I'm going to hit Shift D, duplicate this. And I want to name this bone. I want to name it forearm. IK control dot L. Control C over here. Control V and change it from .L to .R. Now we want to take the actual forearm, or in the forearm IK control, and just hit H. Hit H. Because we're going to take the forearm, hit W, and subdivide it. And now we're going to tab into pose mode here. Going to select this. This is the hand bone here. And we're going to shift select the this top bit here. Like, okay, wait, it's probably alright. Hide the forearm arcade control in pose mode 2. Alright, let's select this bone, Control Shift C, and add a copy rotation to it. Go to the constraints menu. We want to keep offset unchecked, but we only wanted to copy the rotation along the y-axis. Probably should change both of these to local space. Right, okay, so let's just rotate this on the y-axis so you can see what I'm talking about. See, this is the bicep follow, not bicep, the forearm follow I was telling you about. Right there. Okay. Do that on both sides. Again, hide the actual forearm IK control just so that you can be sure to select the right bone. Control Shift C. Copy rotation. Only on the y-axis. Local space. Local space. I say y-axis because remember, we turned axes on, and with axes on, you see that the x-axis is actually pointing up, on the bones anyway. The y-axis is pointing forward, and so that's the axis that we need the bones to follow, because again, the bones axes are different from Blender's actual axes. So if I hit R, Y twice to get it to rotate on Blender's bone y-axis, you'll see that we get the forearm rotation that we want. So I'm gonna just make sure that everything is working properly. Alt H to unhide the IK bone, but hide these little bones that we made, or just one of them anyway, just so that we can see this bone. So select the hand IK, shift select this, Control Shift C, inverse kinematics, chain length 2, and so looks like it, but we have to change the parenting around so that, actually we don't have to change the parenting around, we have to add a copy rotation constraint to this bone. So select this bone, shift select this bone, Control Shift C, copy rotation, and now we have our IK rig working properly. And if we hit Alt H and Alt G, so we can just put it back into position. When we hit R, Y, Y, and you'll see we still get our swivel there. So it does do the same thing. Okay, that's very curious, but okay. So now what we need to do is make sure if we select the IK control that deform is turned off. Let's go to your bone menu and check that. I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Going to, okay, so that's I'm just going to see if I can select it off a whim. No, I can't. Hide that bone, Control Shift C, inverse kinematics, give it a chain length of 2, Alt H, select this bone and this bone, Control Shift C, copy rotation. I think I put the copy rotation on the wrong bone. Select this bone, shift select this bone, Control Shift C, copy rotation. Don't change any of those settings. So now the IK works in accordance with our rotation swivel. And again, turn deformation off on the form IK controls. Just go to this bone menu here and uncheck deform. So I figured out why when I rotated the hand, the actual bone wouldn't snap back. And that's because let me just hit H. So basically I constrained this bone to this bone, except this bone already has a constraint on it. So I'm going to show you what happens when you do that. Whoops. So let's, because I already fixed it, but let's get rid of this constraint here. Okay, let's select this bone, shift select this bone, Control Shift C. Oh wait, I think I got rid of the constraints on both bones. Alright, I unhid something. Right, so hit H to hide that, and then hide that bone. So go to your constraint menu and get rid of the constraint here. Then select this bone, shift select this bone, Control Shift C, add copy rotation, and you see. Wait, so let me just show you what happened. Change all the settings, right? So you see when I rotate this here, Y, and then I right click, they'll still be in this position. That's because this bone already has a constraint on it. And so I'm constraining a bone to an already constrained bone. And so it takes a Blender longer to register this as it's as a constraint, because it's already constrained to something. And so in order to get by that, you constrain.
So basically you constrain this bone to the hand IK. So I'll give you a minute to look at these settings here. Basically change your settings to local space on both offset, and make sure you check the influence to 0.5. And I also added the same constraint to this upper forearm bone here, and I changed the influence to 0.2. Also, so yeah, so that's how you fix that. I should have figured that out in the beginning, but now you see when I RY to rotate it, it's rotating. I right click, you see it goes back to its default position. So that is how you do.
And now let's, when you select your character and you're about to parent it, make sure that mirror is turned off. So turn on clipping and then apply it. And just so that our computer isn't slowing down at all, just turn the viewing of the subdivisions to 0. And now with your mesh selected, shift select any bone on the rig, hit Control P with automatic weights. So now if I R to rotate, you'll see that we get a forearm back and forth motion going here. Say Alt G to fix that, and it still works with the IK. But you see we have a problem. That part here, this part here is moving too much. We need to give that its own bone. So what we do is just Alt G, A to select everything, Alt G, Alt R, Alt S just to clear all movements. And we're going to hit Alt P, clear parent, and we're going to make a bone that'll basically stop this movement. So tap in the edit mode, Shift D this bone here, R to rotate, Control R, let's move it here, let's rotate it this way, and let's just bring it up. Now this bone should be parented to this bone, so shift select that, Control P, keep offset. And we're gonna name this bone shoulder we'll just call it pit control. Oops, and then of course you have to put .L and Control C that name and Control V over here and just change that to .R. Now it's going to have a constraint on here when you tap back in the pose mode. Just get rid of those in the constraint menu. And now again, when you select our mesh, shift select the bone, Control P with automatic weights. Now go down, see very little happens to it, but it needs to be controlled more by this bone. So before we leave, I'm gonna do a little bit of weight painting right now. We're just because that's good enough. I'll show you how to pose them and get them looking real nice before we go. So to just help here, I'm just gonna select these two bones, hit H to hide them, and we're gonna select this bone, hit H, select this bone, hit H, and I guess this bone too because we don't need it. Hide it. So basically hide all these bones in here, just so that we don't have to see that. hide these bones. Hide these bones. And we can hide these bones too. Okay, so now going to hit R to rotate twice. Going to hit R twice to rotate up. I'm going to select the hand IK. I'm just going to bring his arm down, rotate it, bring it forward, bring it in, rotate it again, bring this arm back. I'm putting him in his totally not Kamehameha pose, even though it totally is a Kamehameha pose, because Lucario is such a big Goku fan. There we go. I was hitting the wrong button. I'm so tired, man. I'm sorry. As soon as I'm done editing this, I'm not even going to edit it today. I'm going to edit it tomorrow. But I'm so sleepy. Alright, select this and select this. Move it back. Select this. Shoot. Alright, select this. Move it forward. Or is that right? No, that's not right at all. Okay, what we can do though is select both of these and copy this pose here and paste opposite, and there we go. And what I want to do is select this bone, go to the bone menu here, and where it says relationships, uncheck inherent rotation, because I want to rotate these hips forward. There we go. And we can rotate the tail just so that it looks interesting, you know, something like that. And RZ, rotate the foot, and then rotate this so it looks like the knees are coming out. There we go, like that. I can rotate this so that it looks more interesting. Okay, and then just want to move this up a little bit. Now you can I forgot what I was going to say. So R, Y, Y, rotate it just so that we can get that swivel in there. Oh, that's what I was saying. So you can do something with the fingers here. Like I'll just rotate these just a smidgen, just so that they don't look static. But it doesn't, you know, you can't really tell. Oh yeah, deform must be on these bones. Just make sure you turn off deform on these finger bones that you scale, because they shouldn't affect the fingers in any way. Right. Just want to do that up here. The weight painting should still be fine. Like you shouldn't have to do much. Oh, these are already turned off. Okay, I just forgot to do them on the other side. Alrighty. It's looking nice. Okay. So hit 5, go into perspective mode. I'm going to do something. I'm going to select this hand IK bone, select this hand IK, Shift S, cursor to selected, Shift A, add a UV sphere, move the UV sphere over, tab into edit mode, hit W, and click flip normals. In your tab over here where it says shading, click back face culling and ambient occlusion. Shift D that. It's S to scale it in. Hit W, flip normals. I'm going to go in the materials tab here, click new. Click this to be a light blue and make it shadeless. And then with the sphere inside selected, click the plus button, click assign, click new. Change this to be a dark blue with shadeless selected also. And then we're going to click smooth shading on that. And now what we're going to do, select Lucario, turn back on his subdivision surfaces. I guess we can click Ultimate Display. Now we're going to change this to material mode. Alright, we have light. We don't have really good lighting. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to rotate it first. I'm going to change this to a spotlight with a power of 5. And I'm going to change this to an area light. There we go. I like that effect that it gives much better. And so you see, we can still see like the stuff in the inside because of the ambient occlusion, so we can just give this a subdivision surface modifier. There we go. So now we have Lucario nice and posed. We rigged them, we did all that. Now if you check only render, you'll have a nice pose of him doing his totally not Kamehameha move, and you can do all kinds of stuff with him. However, I may or may not do a more advanced rigging tutorial for the spine, because there's a better way that you can rig the spine, and it's not so counterintuitive for animation. So I'm going to be looking into that, because I know there's a way to do it. I just haven't memorized that way completely. So once I memorize it, I'll post a tutorial about it. But for now, consider the series almost complete, because I'm going to make a facial rigging tutorial just so I can show you how shape keys work and how you can map them to bones and whatnot. So thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more Blender tutorials, movie reviews, anime reviews, versus fights, and my senior blogs that I started. And I will see you all in the next tutorial. Have a good day.